Welcome to lumberpro, where chainsaws scream, harvesters roar, and log trucks roll. Join us to explore raw machinery, wild forests, and the journey of timber from stump to sawmill. Power up, head to the woods with lumberpro. A wood chipper is an industrial machine specialized for timber harvesting and processing. It is designed to shred tree trunks and branches into uniform wood chips or small fragments. Equipped with a powerful engine and sharp blades spinning at high speed, the machine can handle large volumes of wood in a short time, saving labor and boosting production efficiency. The chassis is usually made of sturdy steel, capable of withstanding strong impacts during operation. During operation, tree trunks or branches are fed into the chipper's intake chute. The rotating blades rapidly crush the coarse wood into tiny fragments. The machine roars loudly, accompanied by the sound of wood chips scattering outward. The resulting wood chips can be used as raw material for paper production, biofuel, or eco-friendly building materials. The wood chipper plays a crucial role in processing wood byproducts, transforming and used trunks and branches into valuable raw materials. Compared to manual methods, the chipper saves time, minimizes waste, and improves economic efficiency. Additionally, processing byproducts with the chipper helps reduce negative environmental impacts by preventing leftover wood from accumulating and increasing wildfire risks. Amid the vast forest space, the wood chipper stands as a powerful machine. Tree trunks are fed into the chute, and wood chips fly out like a gentle rain, mingling with the fresh scent of timber. The roar of the engine drowns out the birdsong, creating a scene that is both industrial and wild. The chipper aids efficient harvesting while maintaining ecological balance by maximizing resource utilization. chippers shred and use tree trunks and branches into valuable wood chips, minimizing waste and maximizing resource utilization. Compared to manual methods, chippers operate quickly and continuously, greatly reducing labor effort and harvesting time. Smaller wood chips are easier and cheaper to transport and store than large tree trunks. Wood chips can be used in various industries such as paper production, biomass energy, construction pillars, or ground cover materials. Efficient processing of wood residues reduces wildfire risks caused by accumulated debris and promotes sustainable reuse of wood waste. Blades or shredding drums rotate at very high speeds and can cause severe injuries if operators are careless or come into direct contact. Small wood chips are ejected forcefully and can injure eyes or other body parts without proper protective gear. If the wood fed into the machine is too large or jams inside, it can cause machine malfunction or sudden dangerous reactions. Wood chippers produce loud noise and strong vibrations, which can damage hearing and cause operator fatigue without proper protection. Lack of experience, ignoring safety procedures, or working while fatigued can lead to serious accidents. The log splitter stands tall in the lumber yard, like a cold-blooded machine from a mechanical world. Each time a log is placed on its bed, The V-shaped steel wedge slowly descends, pressing forcefully into the timber. A heavy cracking sound echoes as the trunk splits into two, then four parts. Wood fibers peel apart along the grain, releasing the deep, earthy scent of the forest. The log splitter operates via a powerful hydraulic system, generating pressure up to several tons. When the lever is engaged, the hydraulic piston pushes the splitting wedge into the log with immense force. Depending on the wood type, soft like acacia or hard like ironwood, the pressure and duration are adjusted accordingly. Some modern machines can split logs automatically in multiple directions at once. The crack of splitting wood echoes sharply, like the sound of bones snapping in silence. Each split stretches and vibrates the wood under the weight of steel. Sawdust and tiny chips float in the air, catching light that highlights the silky grain. Watching the timber split smoothly and symmetrically brings a strange satisfaction, like mastering nature by precision. The log splitter plays a crucial role in the post-harvest processing phase. It reduces large tree trunks into smaller segments suitable for trucks, kilns, or further processing like sawing and drying. Thanks to the splitter, what used to be a heavy and dangerous manual task is now faster, safer, and more consistent. Manual log splitters use human force or simple engines, suitable for households or small workshops. Their advantages include low cost and easy maintenance, but they offer lower productivity and higher injury risk. In contrast, modern automatic splitters feature safety sensors, high efficiency, adjustable splitting force, and multi-directional splitting, ideal for industrial scale operations. Log splitters maximize forest resource use by reducing substandard logs into firewood, sawdust, biomass pellets, or paper pulp. This significantly reduces wood waste, lessens the need for new tree felling, and promotes a circular economy in the forestry sector. Log splitters generate loud noise when splitting large or dense logs, averaging between 85 to 100 decibels, similar to a train. This affects hearing and can cause fatigue over time. Therefore, they should be installed in soundproofed areas, or operators should wear noise-canceling earmuffs to maintain occupational health. Log splitters can cause serious injury if operated incorrectly. The sharp steel wedge and massive hydraulic pressure can crush hands or feet in an instant. Flying with chips may damage the eyes, and prolonged loud noise can lead to hearing loss. Operators are required to wear protective gear, safety goggles, gloves, and maintain a safe working distance. In the cool, lush forest, where sunlight streamed through the canopy like golden ribbons, the sudden wail of a chainsaw pierced the air, howling like a siren announcing the start of the workday. It was a sound that roused the creatures of the woods and signaled the beginning of a laborious day for the lumberjack. And from that moment, the journey of transformation for an ancient tree trunk began. The chainsaw roared in the silent ancient forest, its sharp scream slicing through the still air. The spinning blade sank deep into the trunk, bursting through thick bark as sawdust exploded like tiny fireworks. The wood groaned and cracked under invisible pressure, until the whole tree shuddered and crashed to the ground, shaking the earth with its weighty fall. In the midst of the still forest, the chainsaw ignited like a mechanical beast awakened. Its metallic scream echoed with each pulse, the blade spinning like a steel storm carving into timber. Sawdust floated in the filtered light beneath the canopy, tracing ghostly spirals through the once tranquil air. The roar of the chainsaw swept through the forest like an alien sound. Birds scattered in a flutter of panic, and leaves fell like rain before the ground trembled with the tree's collapse. As the tree fell, a patch of sky opened above, casting a harsh beam of sunlight across the forest floor, a new silence following the loss. The chainsaw lunged forward like a steel jaw, grinding through the tough layers of wood. Each rotation of the blade scorched a dark scar into the trunk, as if the forest were being bitten by an unnamed creature. Its relentless growl echoed like a prolonged groan from the heart of the wilderness. As the blade completed its final circle, the trunk quivered slightly, swaying with a hesitant grace. Then suddenly, with a sharp, cracking snap, the entire tree tilted and fell to one side. In that instant, the air seemed to hold its breath, then erupted as the tree slammed into the ground. Dirt flew, birds scattered, and the once shaded grove was flooded with harsh, naked light. The trunk split and fell with a thunderous crash, halting the forest in a moment of stunned silence. Leaves drifted down like soft ash, and birds fell quiet. Where the tree once stood, only a hollow circle remained, blanketed in sawdust, a bare stump jutting upward. The ground sagged beneath the weight, not just of timber, but of memory. A chainsaw can cut through large tree trunks in a short amount of time, significantly reducing the harvesting duration compared to traditional manual methods such as axes or hand saws. With a chainsaw, workers don't need to exert as much physical effort, which reduces fatigue and increases daily productivity. Chainsaws can be used for various tasks, including felling trees, pruning branches, and milling wood on-site. They are effective on different wood types, from softwoods to hardwoods.
I'd say that was successful. Nice job, Logan.
The chainsaw blade enables accurate and straight cuts, minimizing wood loss due to incorrect cuts or splintering, thereby improving product quality. Designed to be compact and lightweight, chainsaws can be easily carried and operated in dense forests, steep slopes, or narrow areas where heavy machinery cannot access. Although chainsaws can be hazardous if used incorrectly, proper operation and safety protocols help reduce accidents compared to handling bulky manual tools. The chainsaw's high-speed rotating blade can cause deep cuts, including loss of fingers, hands, or other body parts in case of accidents. Kickback hazard. This dangerous phenomenon occurs when the tip of the blade strikes a hard object or gets stuck, causing the saw to jerk back violently toward the operator, potentially causing serious injury. Logging often takes place in forests with rough, slippery terrain, increasing the risk of falls, collisions, or being struck by falling trees. Sawdust and small wood chips can enter the eyes, causing irritation, corneal scratches, or severe damage, potentially leading to vision loss if protective goggles are not worn. Logging trucks are essential vehicles in the timber harvesting industry, responsible for transporting harvested logs from the forest to collection points or processing plants. These trucks usually have a sturdy build, large cargo beds, and specialized log securing systems to ensure safety during transit. Their large carrying capacity enhances harvesting efficiency by reducing the number of trips. In forest environments, logging trucks must navigate dirt roads, rugged trails, and sometimes very narrow paths. Drivers need professional skills to handle these complex terrains, avoiding vehicle damage and protecting the cargo. Trucks are often equipped with sturdy suspension systems and specialized tires to traverse mud, gravel, or slippery sections. Logging trucks play a vital connecting role in the forestry supply chain, transporting timber from harvesting sites to processing plants or storage areas. Efficient transportation helps maintain a stable supply, reduces costs and waiting times. This contributes to increasing the value of wood products and promotes sustainable economic development. on winding forest roads. A logging truck loaded with tree trunks quietly makes its way to the collection point. The steady engine hum mixes with the sound of tires crushing dirt, rocks, and mud under the heavy load. Under sunlight filtering through the canopy, the truck stands as a symbol of strength and durability, playing a crucial role in the entire timber harvesting and transportation process. The damp red clay slope looms ahead like a vertical wall. The heavily loaded logging truck, stacked with long, thick trunks, growls as if summoning strength. Its tires spin slowly, clawing at the earth, flinging mud behind them. The engine roars in the thick forest air, each meter of ascent a battle between steel and brutal terrain. Climbing with a heavy load demands a powerful engine, properly geared transmission, and reliable braking and cooling systems. The driver must skillfully balance throttle and gears to prevent wheel slippage or stalling mid-slope. Even a small mistake can result in the truck sliding backward or tipping, posing serious danger. When the slope becomes too steep and the load too heavy, the logging truck can no longer climb on its own. At this point, a specialized towing vehicle is brought in to assist from the front, while a pusher vehicle, often a powerful tractor or dump truck, supports from behind. Three machines, three roaring engines, working in harmony in a dramatic display deep in the forest. Coordination between the tow truck, the logging truck, and the pusher vehicle must be flawless. If the tow pulls too hard or the pusher exerts too much force, it can cause loss of balance, tire slippage, or even axle damage. Operators must communicate through horn signals, radios, or seasoned instinct, because even a small error can cost the entire load or a life. Specialized logging trucks are designed with high ground clearance, powerful drivetrains, and reinforced frames to handle steep forest roads. Differential locks and traction control systems improve grip on inclines, ensuring both driver safety and cargo security. In the heart of a damp, dense forest after a heavy rain, a massive logging skidder creeps forward into a deep, muddy area. A thin mist lingers on the treetops, and weak sunlight filters through the wet canopy, reflecting off murky puddles below. The machine, clad in rugged steel tracks, each as long as an outstretched arm, slowly churns forward, pressing deep into the soggy ground. Under its several-ton weight, mud wells up along both sides like small waves, leaving behind deep, meandering trenches in its wake. The diesel engine roars and bursts, like the labored breathing of a heavy beast. Each time the machine boosts its pulling power, a deep, resonant sound rumbles through the air, mixing with the grind of tracks against rocks and the squelch of decomposing roots and soil. There are fleeting moments of near silence, only to be shattered by a sudden, jarring clang as the skidder lurches through a deeper section of mud, shaking its entire frame. The air is thick with the smell of diesel fuel and damp earth. A massive tree trunk, over 10 meters long and nearly as thick as a person's torso, is being dragged behind the machine. A steel cable as thick as a grown man's wrist stretches taut with each surge of force. The trunk scrapes the ground, emitting a high-pitched screech as it cuts a deep path through the mud, mixing with crushed leaves and torn roots. Every time the tracks slip, the log twists awkwardly, briefly stuck in the muck before being yanked forward again, flinging wet earth high into the air and splattering the machine's hull. The terrain is incredibly treacherous. Some areas are as soft as porridge, while others hide sharp roots and rocks beneath murky water. At times, the tracks sink nearly up to the central axle, forcing the operator to adjust tactics, steering at an angle to avoid becoming fully bogged down. In certain spots, the skidder leans heavily to one side, its suspension groaning under pressure, yet it manages to hold balance and avoid tipping over. After each pass of the skidder, the landscape looks torn apart. Layers of deep brown mud are churned up, exposing snapped roots jutting out like broken ribs. The saturated soil becomes compacted, losing its natural ability to absorb water. A nearby creek starts to turn murky as runoff from the log-dragging ruts flows into it. Birds and small wildlife vanish entirely, leaving behind an eerie, unnatural silence. Previously, pulling logs manually or with oxen on muddy ground required hours of grueling effort and several workers. With a skidder, the same task is handled by a single operator in an enclosed cabin. This not only conserves human labor, but also reduces the risk of physical injury, tripping, or getting stuck in mud, common accidents in wet forest environments. The tree stump removal excavator is a type of heavy machinery equipped with a specialized claw or stump puller designed to uproot trees and stumps from the ground. This machine is commonly used in land clearing, site preparation, and post-logging cleanup. Excavators used for stump removal are often fitted with specialized attachments such as grapple buckets to grip and pull the stump, stump rippers with sharp teeth to pierce and cut through roots, stump grinder heads that crush and grind the stump in place. The machine operates using the powerful hydraulic force of the boom arm. The operator maneuvers the arm to dig deep into the ground, clamp onto the stump, and then lift and yank it out. In some cases, roots may need to be cut first with a hydraulic blade attachment. Saves time and labor compared to manual stump removal. Capable of handling large and old stumps. Can combine stump pulling and grinding on-site for quick disposal. Causes significant soil disturbance, affecting soil structure, generates loud noise, potentially disturbing nearby areas, can be hazardous if not operated correctly, posing risks to both operator and machinery. From the deep forest to the roaring machines, timber harvesting is where man, nature, and technology meet. Thanks for watching. See you on the next journey, where wood is not just material, but a story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting videos.